Let's now talk about spacings. If you check the variables and then click on sizes, you can notice that we are using rems as the main unit instead of pixels. You're probably wondering why we are using rems, since pixels are way much easier to work with, and indeed they are easier to work with, but they are bad for accessibility. If you want to check this page from the client first documentation, you can see a full explanation of what is RAM and why we are using them. But just to give you a simple explanation, if the user changes on its browser settings the font size, then, as you can see here on this video, then if your website was built using pixels, nothing will happen. So this is bad for accessibility because some users just want to see things bigger. But if your website was built using rems, and if the user changed this font size on the browser settings, then of course your website will be scaled up or down based on the user preferences. The math for calculating rems into pixels and vice versa is very simple. So 1 rem is equal to 16 pixels. So if you have, let's get the calculator. So if you have 5 rems, you can just multiply this number by 16 and then you get the pixels number, right? So 5 rems are equal to 80 pixels. You can also do the same thing to convert pixels to rems. So if you have, let's say, 96 pixels, you can just divide by 16 and you get the rems number, which is in this case 6 rems. For the spacing here on the website, you can notice that we are using this spacer class, right? So just select this one, let's just remove the class, and if I type spacer, you can see that I have a lot of spacer options here, right? So let's say we want something really huge. Let's just select spacer huge, and that's it. We have a bigger spacing here. Now let's say you want something smaller. We can just select spacer small, and boom, we'll have here a smaller spacing. So for spacing between elements, just use this spacer class, of course, with the size that you want. You can also notice that for spacing on the sections, so like this one, we are using a different class, which is padding section, and then of course the size of this padding. So if by some reason you want, let's say, a smaller padding section, you can just type padding section and then just select, let's say, small, and that's it. You have a smaller padding here on this section. So just so you know, all of these spacer class and padding class are using, of course, the variables, right? So if you check here on the sizes, you can see that we have all the spacers here, and we also have, of course, all the sections here, spacings here, which are connected to the padding section classes. You can also check always the style guide page and scroll down to see the spacing area, which is this one, right? And here you have a visual look of how much spacing are on these padding classes and also on the actual spacer classes.